Hi there. Okay, so let's
There is
pause this. What we're going to be doing today is having a little look at the Justice League trailer that dropped yesterday at Comicon. I have watched it already, so it's not a blind watch. I couldn't really resist with it before recording. But I only watched it on my phone just when I was out, so I just kind of caught up on what was going on. But I'll save my reaction until we watch the whole thing. So as you get to know me more, hopefully, across this channel, I am a massive Batman and DC fan. Batman is my favourite superhero of all time, and the fact that this Justice League movie seems to be centred around Batman is really interesting to me, and it's something that I'm really, really looking forward to. I like Batfleck. I didn't like Batman vs Superman as much because of other things not related directly to Batfleck, which everyone knows the problems with that film, so there's not much point rehashing that. However, I'm optimistic for the DC universe they're starting to create with Suicide Squad, with this, with Wonder Woman. There's a couple of things in this that I will talk about that I haven't heard other people talk about. A couple of things that I think are a bit too comparable to Civil War, and I'll pause the video as we go along and sort of talk about what I think. So, here we go.
stranger who comes to this village from the sea. He comes in the winter when people are hungry and brings fish. He comes on the king tide. That was last night. Chuck. I believe.
Okay, so first point about Jason Moreira as Aquaman. I love it. I think it's great. One line towards the end, which I think will be quite amusing, is, and I'll talk about it then, is I really hope they do a little bit of comedy with him about Aquaman and how he's perceived, or how he has been perceived by everything else, and that he was always kind of the lamest of the Justice League. There's been many people that have talked funnier ways about how he's the lamest Justice League guy. I think they should bring that into the film. They need to be self-aware of Aquaman and make it and saying, this was Aquaman, he was weird, he wore a stupid costume, he talked to fish. This is new Aquaman, this is New 52 Aquaman, this is guy who can set sharks on you, who can call up giant squids from the deep and attack people with them. He is effectively Poseidon. Speaking of that, there may be a slight tie-in with him and Wonder Woman that I'll talk about when I do a reaction for Wonder Woman's trailer. Straight after this, I'll do it in the same video. That maybe it's a slight thing, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, so I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
Believe that an enemy is coming.
Don't know what that is. Could be
Far
Pandora's
away.
box, which I think is something
I'm looking for warriors.
with Wonder Woman.
This stranger.
Making him drink. I get it. He's a badass. Is that too much? I don't know. I mean, the whole slow motion downing a whiskey bottle as you walk away from something is a little bit obvious. I don't know. We'll see.
Others like him. I'm building an alliance to defend us.
I like him. He's cool.
It's very important that I see this man. Barry Allen. Bruce Wayne.
You said that like it explains why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair.
He said he'll fight with us?
More or less.
More or more less?
Probably more or less.
He said no.
He said no.
Look, man, I don't know who you are, but whoever you're looking for,
The lightning effect when Flash uses his power, I'm not 100% on. I think it could look a bit too over the top.
So you're fast.
that feels like an oversimplification.
I'm putting together a team. People with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
Okay, so let's talk about Barry Allen and the Flash for a moment. I like him. I like the actor. I think it's a cool way of doing him. However, this scene just feels so much like when Tony Stark went to find Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Civil War. It just does. It just seems exactly the same scene, or near enough. Casting him as an awkward teenage, slightly Asperger-y kind of kid, it's fine, and it fits the character. But the Flash in this just seems like Justice League Spider-Man. And I think if the two movies end up coming out around the same time as each other, which they will, where we're getting introduced to Tom Holland as Spider-Man in that same sort of role as this guy's Flash, I just think there's going to be too many comparisons drawn. They could have done a Bart Allen where he's older, where he's more experienced being the Flash. He could very well die in this film and bring in a Bart Allen type character to replace him. I'm not sure. I mean, the Flash has always been very timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly anyway. So he could very well... There could be multiple Flashes. There always has been in the comics, and having them all occupy the same space is a massive thing with the Flash anyway. So yeah, seems like he's being a little bit Spider-Man-y, especially with the next line where he's like, I don't have any friends. I like it though, it's interesting.
You are? Just like that?
Yeah, I need friends.
Great.
Can I keep this?
That suit again. I like his suit.
I heard about you. Didn't think you were real.
Cyborg's outfit is exactly the same one from Teen Titans, and I like that a lot. He actually looks... No, he looks exactly like the one from Injustice, which is also great. I think the DC universe is drawing a lot from the more recent DC video games. I mean, going back to BVS, you know, the fight scene in the warehouse was ripping directly from the Arkham games in terms of the way Batman moves, fights, even down to the gadgets and things he was using was taking exactly that same style of combat. And I think they're going to continue that here with some of the abilities and things you see Cyborg and some of the other characters use that you may not have seen before. I mean, are we going to see Flash run around the world and punch someone in the face? Probably not. It's a little bit too far, but they could do. You never know.
I'm real when it's useful.
I like the logo.
Arthur Curry.
It's very cool.
I hear you can talk to fish.
Okay, so that was Justice League. Next one, we have got Wonder Woman. I'm going to pause that, just talk about Justice League very quickly. So I think it looks really cool. Having said that, I thought BVS looked really cool from the trailer as well. And we all know how that turned out. So I reserve judgment till I see it. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm definitely going to be hyped about it and I think the important thing to remember when we look at these trailers and we look at how they've been put together, the difference between the VVS to me the Justice League and the Civil War trailer is massive, and the Wonder Woman trailer is massive, and I think that's primarily because I don't think Justice League is ready for a trailer just yet. I think they put together that footage as a way of saying, look, this is us, this is what we're doing, this is what it's going to look like, this is the general theme of things, without spoiling too much, because they didn't spoil anything in that. They just kind of said, this is Batman going around the world finding these guys and kind of getting a team together. They didn't show anything of who the villain was apart from maybe Pandora's box in that little clip. They didn't show anything of them, of why they're doing this. So definitely a very ambiguous trailer. Definitely going to be put together in that sort of way. I'm hyped. I'm cautiously hyped, is probably the way I'd put it. Anyway, next thing up is Wonder Woman. A much more, I think, traditional looking trailer with Wonder Woman. Much more show. It shows a lot more, and we'll see that.
You're a man.
Yeah. I mean, do I not look like one?
Okay, I like Chris Pine. I really like Chris Pine. I think he looks interesting in this character, being a soldier, but for Wonder Woman's first movie, why give her a love story? And that's what it seems like it's going to be. It seems like between him and her, there will be a love story. I don't think they will actually get romantically involved. I think there'll be a lot of tension, and I think that's what they'll build on. But it brings it back to making... They could do it in a good way. They could do it in a very good way, where she's very much, I don't need no man, sort of thing, which I think they are going to do from the look of some of the jokes in here. But Wonder Woman could be on her own for the first time. I think giving her a random mortal human with no abilities to get flirty with is a bad choice. Ideally, you want to see Superman and Diana have some sort of romantic connection down the line. Not immediately, but you know, they do in the comics every now and again. Someone on an equal playing field to her, I think, is the only way you could do it. But that's the way they chose to go it, and I just think it'll detract from it being her story. And that's what they need for this movie, because it's a movie that will get shit on, inevitably, because of the whole feminism thing. I mean, on that note, I hated Ghostbusters because it was a terrible movie. This looks much, much better. I am all for a female-led superhero movie done really well, and I hope this is what we're going to see. But we'll see. So, Themyscira, this is what I was talking about with Aquaman. So, what you see there, and it's hard to make out being so far off and being compressed on YouTube, obviously, but this here, this sort of spiral here, is a tentacle. I'm sure it is. It looks like some sort of tentacle. Now, obviously, they're very much related to the Roman gods. Now, Aquaman doesn't really relate to the Roman gods, to the Greek gods too much, but there is connections there with Atlantis and everything like that, and stories they've done with him over the past. So, could the Amazons and Aquaman's people in this version have a connection? It would make sense. It would tie everything together slightly more. You know, she already says in here that she was brought to life by Zeus, so there is assuming there's a Zeus, there's a Poseidon. And if Aquaman's there, then Aquaman and Poseidon will be a conjoined twin in this, a conjoined thing in this universe. Remains to be seen. There's a few ways to go with that.
You have been my greatest love.
That's Diana's mother, if anyone didn't realise, not her wife, as some people have been saying.
Be careful, Diana.
I'm going to talk about colour filters. So the blue and orange here is really jarring. So going from the blue of the outside scenes, sort of that bluey green tint, straight to a warm orange glow over everything. It just seems like, and this is something Zack Snyder does in all his movies. I think the first film to really make it obvious is The Matrix. The Matrix's blue-green filter is off the fucking charts. But it made sense in that film because of what it was about. I don't enjoy it. I think the way it looks here is okay because she's got the blue dress to kind of contrast everything. But the general orangey wash over everything else just doesn't look natural. Doesn't look real. It looks too forced.
I do not deserve you.
So the sword at the back is ridiculous, but kind of cool. New logos. Don't know who she is. Someone mentioned she might be Tigress. Her with the face. Her with the face. I'm not too sure who that could be. It obviously is someone important. Was she wearing a sort of porcelain mask to disguise herself, and then someone punched her, and that's why you've got the cracks in it? Or is that just how she looks in general? It doesn't look like it's cracked. It looks more like that's deliberately a design. When you look at it paused, it's too sort of smoothed out to be cracked or smashed. So I have no idea who that is. I'd probably lose fanboy points for that.
Have you never met a man before? I mean, what about your father?
I had no father. I was brought to life by Zeus.
That makes Zeus your father.
Well, that's neat.
Again with blue. This is cool. I love this. So you get to see all the Amazons coming together and fighting in World War One. It's not just a woman movie. This is everyone together. That's really cool. Battlefield 1 DLC. Wonder Woman.
I can't let you do this.
I love the glow on her whip.
What I do is not up to you.
And this, even though it makes no sense in physics, is so cool. Like the way it just glows there is badass. Some Zack Snyder slow-mo. And the theme! Wonder Woman! The theme is so cool. I love the way they do the music for this. I hope that's...
I'm Steve Trevor's secretary.
What is a
secretary?
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
So obligatory fish out of water joke here.
Slavery.
I really like her.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Ladies, after you.
I do. I like her.
Right. So, those were the two trailers that came out yesterday from Comicon. And yeah, very cool. Wonder Woman definitely impressed more in terms of making it look like a film I want to watch. I really want to see that now. I was going to see it anyway because it's DC. But it may look a little bit Zack Snyder-y. Certainly more so than Justice League did. But Justice League didn't show us any action. So that's the thing. We didn't see any action from Justice League. Wonder Woman trailer was packed with it. We saw so much without, again, giving out who the main bad guy is. Unless the main bad guy is just the Axis powers in World War One, which seems a bit easy for her. I mean, beating up Germans is just going to be a little bit straightforward. You want to see someone being there. What I think is going to happen personally is I think the two are going to move into each other. So I think at the end of Wonder Woman you will see Pandora's box, and it will give some explanation to why Wonder Woman did everything in World War One and then wasn't seen again until 2016 when she shows up with Batman and Superman. So there needs to be a reason for her to have been off the radar for so long. Or people not to know about her. I mean, it seems like she's fighting Germans and participating in battles and meeting loads of people and people seeing a fight, and there needs to be a decent reason why no one's mentioned her or Superman wasn't aware of her before she showed up at the end of BVS. So that was both trailers. I hope you enjoyed watching them with me, and I hope my commentary was something we can agree on. By all means, if you disagree with anything I said, or have any insight into the connection with Poseidon, with what I thought about the difference between the Spider-Man reveal in Civil War and the way they did this in Justice League, I think they're too similar. You might disagree. By all means, like, comment, subscribe. I'll do more of these in addition to the gameplay stuff as we go along. I mean, Comicon is one of those things that you have to kind of do reaction stuff to, because loads of crazy new shit comes out that you want to comment on. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Gumberbear, and you have a good day.